Hello, hello, hello. Can we all hear me? Looks like I was muted that whole entire time. So, what's going on, everybody? Steve Raiken here, Raiken Profit. Let me do a quick mic check. All right. Hello, hello, hello. All right. I am in business. So, that introduction was actually done on mute. So, I'm back in action, guys. Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Let me start that again. So, my name's Steve Raiken, Raiken Profit on YouTube. I have been making money online for about 4 years now. And, I quit my job. I was working at gas stations, restaurants, delivering pizzas, and I made a lot of mistakes, a ton of mistakes, right? When I was first getting started. And, you know, being able to work for yourself and to make money online, whether it's eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, I've done it all. You've got to learn how to be productive. So I want to share with you guys these 7 hacks that I use on a daily basis to be more productive in my business. So I'm excited for the show. I've got a little, let me make sure everything's working smooth. I've got a little presentation for you guys. So we're going to dive into it. Let me shout some people out. Let me make sure you can see me okay. What's going on, everybody? Sorry about the mix up. And oh, yeah, happy Valentine's to everybody as well. Hopefully, you guys are having an amazing day. Looks like we got Melissa in the house. Darren Eckelman, what's going on, Darren? Eddie Willis, Matt Dresner, what's going on? Nike Boxes, good to see you. Steel Prop, Axel Rosa. Hello, resellers here from Massachusetts. So I'm right next door in Connecticut. So good to see you guys. So yeah, let's dive into this, guys. Let's talk about these 7 hacks I use daily to be more productive in my business. All right, guys. So here's the first thing that I want to talk about right now. And this is a big mistake that a lot of people make. When you're working for yourself, whether it's eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, maybe you're a publisher or a YouTuber or you're an internet marketer, whatever it is, a lot of people focus on to-do lists and they schedule out their day and they've got a million different things that they're doing, but they don't really know why they're doing it. They have an idea in the back of their mind, but so many people are brought up and we're kind of trained in society to be busy, to stay busy, to always be on the run. But here's the thing, guys. You could be doing a million different things, but if you're not clear of your outcome, you're never going to reach your goals. So one thing that I've learned over the last 4 years, being an entrepreneur, running multiple businesses, is that you need to become 100% crystal clear on your outcome, right? You want to know why you're doing what you're doing. So like maybe if for an example, we can talk about like weight loss, right? You don't want to wake up and say, I'm just going to go on a run, or, I'm going to watch my calories, or I'm going to do this and that. Like these are important actions, but you want to know why you're doing it and what you're really going for. Because a lot of times we'll do these things, in our business or in our life in general, but it's not the best option that we can choose if we would have just thought a little bit about what we're actually looking to accomplish. What's our main outcome? So instead of planning your to-do lists and just like writing down all the things that you have to do, ask yourself, what's my main outcome? Maybe your outcome is, this week I want to make $1,000 in sales in my eBay business. So with that in mind, ask yourself, what are 3 things that I could do this week that would get me closest to accomplishing that goal with the least amount of work, or not even the least amount of work, but what would have the biggest impact if I did this, 1, 2, or 3 things during the week? What would get me closest to my outcome? You want to have an idea of where you're trying to go. And Tony Robbins talks about this a lot. So next time you plan your week or your day, ask yourself, what am I really trying to accomplish? And that's going to help you out a lot right there. Number 2, the 80-20 rule, or the 80-20 principle. Do the 20% and delegate the rest. So there's a principle out there called the 80-20 rule, the 80-20 principle, and that states that Out of the 100% of the results that you're getting in your life, whether it's financially or relationship wise or socially or anything, you could break this down. There's a lot of studies out there and there's a lot of case studies and whatnot. But out of the 100% of the results that you're getting, 20% of the input or 20% of the things that you're doing are resulting in 80 are creating 80% of your results. So let me say that one more time. Out of the 100% of the results you're getting, for example, let's just say you're making $2,000 a month. If you were to really dive into that specific business or businesses that you're running, I can guarantee that there's a couple things, or there's 20% or maybe even less. I found that sometimes it's 5 to 10%, but you'll find that there's a couple things that you're doing, whether it's actions or a particular business, that's creating 80% of your output, 80% of your results. So one thing that I do on a regular basis, and I'm trying to do more and more, is ask myself and take a moment to think, okay, these are all the things that I'm doing. These are all the actions that I'm taking on a regular basis. What are the one or the two actions that are creating the biggest amount of results, right? And when I figure that out, I try to focus more of my energy on those and eliminate or let go or delegate the things that aren't creating those results. So the 80-20 rule, do the 20% and delegate the rest. So these are kind of two different things right here, but I combine them. Delegating is really, really important, because whether you're running your own business or just in life in general, there's only a certain amount of time in the day. There's only a certain amount of things that you can do. And you don't want to get caught up in doing a bunch of things and staying busy when you're losing sight of the big picture, right? Those 20%, the most important things, the things that only you can do that have the biggest impact. So think about your eBay business, maybe, right? Think about what's the bottleneck. What are a couple of the actions that you take on a regular basis that are accumulating, 80% of your results? Break it down, right? Break it down. And there's a lot of websites out there that can help you with delegating. A couple that I've used in the past is Upwork.com. I've got that on the screen in front of you. And also Fiverr.com as well, which is pretty good for smaller tasks. But remember this, and Tim Ferriss mentioned this in his book, 4-Hour Workweek, and I'm kind of paraphrasing right now. It's more important in terms of what you do. So it's more important to know, and remember this, it's more important what you do versus how you do it. Because you could do 20 things very well, right? You can be running your eBay business and you could be working 15 hours a day, and you could be kicking butt with photographs. You could be kicking butt with measurements. You can be kicking butt with sourcing items and shipping items, and doing the bookkeeping and the accounting and the taxes, and you're kicking butt, and you're really awesome at all these different tasks. But you got to remember, it's more important what you do versus how you do it, because if you're doing all those things, you might be missing the boat. You might be missing the big opportunity, right? You might actually be making less money doing everything versus focusing on the few things that are the most important, that have the biggest impact, and eliminating the rest or outsourcing it. So just think about this, guys. It's really, really important. Think about the 80-20 principle. Think about the quote that I just mentioned. It's more important what you do versus how you do it. And sometimes I'll use the analogy of like climbing up the right ladder. You could be putting all your energy and effort into a particular business, but that ladder might be going up a building that maybe has a cap of, maybe 40, 50, $100,000 a year. And you could do everything right, and you could climb that ladder, and you could get up super quick. But then again, it's leaned up against the building, and I'm using kind of a weird analogy that is capped off in a sense. So you want to make sure you're climbing up the right ladder. You want to make sure you're doing the right things with your time versus just being very, very good at doing everything. So I want to see what the comments are saying right now about this, because I know this is kind of a concept that took me a while to understand. Picking up the pace, what's going on? So I'm not sure if the comments are coming in. I'm actually on my cell phone checking the comments, but I'm going to continue. Let me go over to the YouTube comments right now and see what's going on. Okay. All right, so we have 82 people watching live. Good to see everybody. So I don't think there's any comments coming in. So I'm going to get back to the productivity hacks. So I talked about number one, get clear on your outcomes. Number two, the 80-20 rule, delegate, delegate the rest. Number three, and this is a big one, guys. You can apply this to any business. And this is a killer right here. And this is something that I've been struggling with. And I've been, sometimes I fall victim to this. And then I ask myself, why the heck did I pick up the phone? Why did I dive into that email? This is so true. Number three, productivity hack. And it's so simple. Stop picking up the phone and checking email while you're working. Let me repeat that. Stop picking up your phone and checking checking email while you're working. And I'm going to touch on this a little more in another one of these productivity hacks, which I call batching. But just know every time you allow yourself to get distracted, whether it's picking up the phone or it's the email or whatever, it could be checking social media. It takes you that much longer. Well, it takes you a long time. What am I trying to say? It takes you that much longer to get back into the groove again. So by picking up the phone, even if it's a 2-minute conversation, you might be working on something and you might be in the middle of thought, or you might be, who knows what you're doing. But when you pick up that phone, it takes so much longer to get back into the swing of things. And you might not feel it. You might not, it might not make sense to you right now, but just experiment with this. Turn off your phone completely, 100% if you can, while you're working, right? Now, I'm not saying turn off your phone all day, because I believe in working in increments of time, whether it's a 30-minute period, a 60-minute, a 2-hour, taking a little time off and going at it again. I'll touch on that a little later. So you don't have to avoid this all day long. But when you're working, make that 100% focus time. Don't let anybody distract you. You can get more done in 2 hours, 100% distraction-free, social media off, phone off, email off. And I'm not just saying this because I read an article. I've experimented with this. You could get more done in 2 hours of 100% focus time than 8 hours of having Facebook up, answering phone calls, easily getting distracted. I'm telling you right now, this is huge. This is really, really big. So experiment with this, try it out for yourself, but it's definitely worked for me. Number 4, this is a good one. So having a morning routine and even a night routine, which I'm not going to talk about now, and this is a night routine, something I'm working on as of late, but I'll talk about the morning routine. Having a morning ritual or a morning routine has actually helped me to be more productive during the day. I don't know what it is. It's something about just setting the tone to the day. Like when you have your morning routine first thing in the morning, and the things I have listed on the screen are some of the things that I do. I don't do everything each and every day. Sometimes I do, other times I don't. But having a morning routine, whatever it is, and accomplishing these first few things not only help you to feel better physically and mentally, but it just gives you an extra kick of motivation. I don't know what it is. So if you're waking up, like, I'll tell you the worst thing that you can possibly do to kill productivity is waking up first thing in the morning to an alarm and just jumping into your day with no game plan, with no routine, with no ritual. That is a recipe for disaster. At least for me, it was. Maybe for you, it works. But remember, productivity, when I think of productivity, I don't think about getting the most done. I think about getting the best bang for my buck, right? When I think of being productive, I think about, getting a lot of work done in a short amount of period of time without wasting time, getting things done effectively and efficiently, but getting the right things done, right? Because you could be productive, but you can be climbing up the wrong ladder, like I was talking about before. So having a morning routine or a ritual is really, really important. Some of the things that I've been doing lately, and I'll talk about some of the things I've been doing for a while. Cold showers and rebounding. So cold showers, cold showers. Let me know in the comments. Has anybody experimented with cold showers? I'm not crazy. I'm not a lunatic. Well, at least I don't think I am. Maybe a little bit. Cold showers are quite the experience. If anyone follows Tony Robbins, he does a similar thing, but he does a cold plunge. So when Tony Robbins Tony Robbins wakes up first thing in the morning. He does one of two things. Well, it's kind of a similar thing. He usually jumps into his jacuzzi or his hot tub, and then he immediately goes into his cold plunge. And it's, I don't know what it is. It's like this pool that's like 54 degrees. I'm not a millionaire right now. I don't have billions of dollars, so I don't have a cold plunge. But I've been experimenting with cold showers first thing in the morning, and I tell you right now, it is all hell. It is the craziest thing in the world to take a cold shower first thing in the morning. But goddamn, does that wake you up and get you moving? Cold showers will get you moving like no other, right? Because when you take a cold shower first thing in the morning, you are shocking the living hell out of your body. Your body goes absolutely wacky. But I tell you, it changes your state. You breathe rapidly. You take in a whole bunch of oxygen. It wakes you up like crazy. And if you do any studies in the cold showers, not only have they been proven to change your mental state, but they've been proven to help people with depression, with anxiety. It's been proven to boost your immune system, improve your skin, and a bunch of other things. But not only that, taking a cold shower in the morning gives you a mental edge, because if you could take a cold shower first thing in the morning, there's nothing that you can't accomplish during the day if you can get your butt into a cold shower first thing in the morning. So do some research on this. I've been experimenting with cold showers, but if you're tired, if you're groggy, oh boy, does that wake you up in the morning. Another thing that I like to do, and I don't do this every day, but it's rebounding. I have a little miniature trampoline, and I'll typically jump on it for 5 or 10 minutes. And that's really good for moving lymph in your body, which is really good for boosting your immune system, cleaning out toxins. There's a bunch of other benefits as well. But jumping on the trampoline, rebounding in the morning is definitely awesome. Meditation, breath work. Look up Wim Hof. He's got some breathing exercises that I recommend experimenting with in the morning. Lewis Howes actually interviewed him recently, and he's got this. It's like part one of the podcast where he goes through this 15-minute breathing exercise, and it's actually been proven in the universities that this 15 minutes of breathing could actually help you to connect or to train your cells in your body. It's wacky, it's crazy. Just look into it. But after I do it, I don't do it for the scientific stuff. I do it because it makes me feel really good. It calms anxiety, and anxiety is something that I've dealt with over the last 10 years. So it helps with that. Helps to clear and kind of cleanse the mind. And it just, I don't know, for some reason, it just makes me feel really, really good. Other things that I do, green juicing in the morning, hot tea. I have a little recipe for the morning. It's an apple cider vinegar recipe. So I take a little cup of water, kind of like room temperature water, throw in a couple tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, throw in a little bit of cayenne pepper, just a little sprinkle, and I toss in a little bit of squeezed lemon juice, shoot that down in the morning, and that gets you going. It gives you a lot of energy. It's good for your immune system as well. Other things I do, motivational music in the morning, motivational speeches, reading, not only self-help books, business books, but reading my own goals, affirmations, of course, having a healthy breakfast, and exercising. So get yourself a morning routine down. It's really, really good for productivity. Something about having that routine and accomplishing it first thing in the morning, it just sets the tone for your day. And I've noticed it. I've experimented with having a routine and not having one. And I tell you right now, I'm 159% sure, 159%, I said it, that having a morning routine or a ritual will help you to be a lot more productive during the day. So let me jump into the comments real quick, answer some questions, and see what's going on with everybody. We got 79 people watching live, so good to see everybody. Johnny Whisper says, I believe he's talking about the cold showers also help with body inflammation, aches, and pains. 100% right. I'm actually, I just invested in a personal trainer. I'm seeing him twice a week for an hour each time, and then I'm doing other personal training group sessions the other 3 days a week. My body is like, it's inflamed, it's sore, it hurts, and I've been experimenting with having more of the cold shower on my legs. I haven't noticed anything yet, but I'm hoping that it helps with the aches and pains. Darren Eckelman, what does morning sex do versus a cold shower? I don't know, man. You're going to have to experiment with that. It is Valentine's Day. So let's see. How about honey? Recommend that. A really good recipe that I learned from Tim Ferriss to fall asleep at night is to actually take a little cup of water at nighttime. And I've been doing this for the last week. I learned it from, what was it? I don't know if it was one of his videos or if it was from Tools of Titans, his latest book. Take a little glass of water, put in some raw honey. It's got to be raw, and put in a couple tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. Drink that. It's been knocking me out lately. So that's the only time I really experiment with honey, but it's been seeming it's been seeming to work pretty well. 20, someone says 23 likes. What? Smash it, guys and gals. What's up, Rockstar Flipper? Yeah, hit that like button, guys. I definitely would appreciate it. Let's get back into it, guys. Hopefully you can see my screen. Let me double check this. Okay, cool. So that's number 4. So I'll do a quick recap real quick. Number 1, get clear on your outcomes, schedule actions around major key outcomes. I like to use Google Drive, so definitely check out Google Drive. Number 2, the 80-20 rule, do the 20%, delegate the rest. Remember this, it's more important what you do versus how you do it. Number 3, stop picking up your phone and checking email while working. It's pretty self-explanatory. Number 4, having morning ritual. And number 5, block out time for major actions. Have one major thing each day that you schedule in to accomplish and use time limits. So, what law is it? Is it Pareto's law, I believe? And it states that if you give somebody 30 days to do something, they'll take 30 days to do it, and they'll probably cram it in last minute. If you give somebody 7 days to do it, they'll make it happen in 7 days. If you give them 3 days to do it, they'll get it done in 3 days. The law pretty much states that, and the way that I perceive it is with Pareto's laws, if you have something to do, you've got to put a limitation on it. You've got to put a time limitation on it, because it's just wired into our brains that humans, we just procrastinate. We'll take as long as possible to do it. So one thing that I found, and I'll start with blocking out your time, is it's important that each day, and I've been talking about this, not to have a schedule that's completely jam-packed with like a million different things, but to have a schedule that's packed with a couple things that really have a big impact on your business. Don't just do things to be busy. Do things that are part of the 80-20 principle. Do those 20% of those things that make a difference, right? That make a big difference, and delegate the rest and or eliminate it. So schedule your days out, right? You can do it the night before or during your morning routine, but don't do a million different things during the day. Pick at least 1 or 2 things. Ask yourself, what's one thing that I could do today that if I did this one thing, actually, let me take a step back. Let's say you have 10 things on your to-do list today. Ask yourself this question. Out of these 10 things, what's the one thing that if I accomplished it today and I only accomplished that, the other 9 wouldn't matter? If you have 10 things to do, what's the one thing that if you did that today, it would make all the other 9 to-dos on your list irrelevant? That's what I'm talking about. And once you answer that question and find that 1 or those 2 or those 3 things, I'd stick to 1 or 2, schedule that in and block out time. Block out time. What I mean by that is get your calendar. I use Google Calendars. I love it. It syncs up with everything. And chunk it out, right? And what I mean by chunking, that's taking, whether it's a 30-minute block, an hour block, a 2-hour block, or even a 4-hour block, and committing 100%, no distractions, all your focus on that one action. You're not juggling. You're not jumping from, listing the 30 items to shooting a YouTube video haul to sending out an email or whatever it is that you're doing, right? You focus that time on that one task. And when you do that task, you can go to bed at the end of the night knowing I did all that I could do. I did that thing, or I accomplished that task that had the biggest difference, that was the highest leverage. And that's how I think about my day. When I plan my day, I ask myself that question. And I'm not perfect. There's times where I get caught up just like everybody else. and I'm doing a million different things, running around like crazy, and I get to the end of the day and I'm like, what did I really do? I'm like, okay, I did 15 things, but none of these really had a big impact on my life. I was just reacting to things. I was trying to get away from something that was uncomfortable. I forgot who mentioned it, but someone mentioned you want to do the things that make you the most uncomfortable, because the things that are making you the most uncomfortable are typically the things that could actually make the biggest difference in your life or business. So that's another cool tip right there. But block out your time for major actions. That's a big one right there. And use time limits. I actually use I forget what it is, but it's a Chrome extension that's like a stopwatch. And I usually work in 30 to 60-minute blocks because I'm ADD and I just know myself. And after about 60 minutes, unless I'm in a particular environment, which we're going to talk about next, I get distracted very, very easily. So download one of those Chrome extension stopwatches and set a task if you're doing it online, or if you're doing something like listing on eBay, get a physical stopwatch or set an alarm on your phone. And when you're done with that, just finish up your task and move on to something else, and or take a break. So that's number 5 right there. So number 6 is something that I'm experimenting with, and something that I've actually had a lot of success doing, and that's batching. Batching work. What I mean by that is, for example, I haven't been doing this lately because I haven't been making a ton of YouTube videos, and I've been actually doing more live YouTube videos, so this doesn't really count. But there was a time on my YouTube channel last year when I was shooting videos a couple times a week, and I was shooting like 3 or 4 or 5 at once. So I was shooting all the videos one day, and then I was scheduling them out, and it was done. And when you stop something and then have to start it again, depending on what it is, it could cost you a lot of time. Like, for example, if you're taking pictures of your eBay items, maybe you have to pull out your lighting, or you have to get out your tripod, you have to get out your camera, you have to clear your SIM card, your memory, you've got to get out your mannequin, you got to bring your clothes from downstairs to upstairs. Maybe after you're done shooting, you have to bring all your clothes back down. So a better option, instead of listing every single day or taking pictures every single day, it might be a better option for you to do all your photography in one day, because you've got your camera ready, you've got your lighting ready, you've got your items ready, everything's there, it's ready to go. And this might differ just based upon your business and what you're doing, but batching is really important. So I talked about picture taking. If you're a writer, if you write ebooks or blog posts, or if you shoot YouTube videos, batching is very, very effective. Shipping items, obviously, this kind of applies, but doesn't really, because a lot of people have one-day shipping. Checking email, right? You don't have to check email every single day. Well, for some folks, we do. But for me in particular, I don't necessarily have to check email every day. I could do that a couple times a week. Bookkeeping and taxes. So lately, I've been, I don't know if you guys know, but I hired a bookkeeping company this year, and I hired a new CPA. And there's a lot of changes going on. We're having a lot of conference calls. We're getting things situated with my books. We're getting things situated with different company entities and legalities. And, I'm going through the tax planner. I have all this stuff to do with taxes and bookkeeping. And I've been batching it. I've been spending my days doing it, instead of just, doing 30 minutes of bookkeeping here, 30 minutes there, 30 minutes there, and spreading it all out. I'm just batching it and doing all of it pretty much as I can in a day to get it out of the way. So for me, there's a certain mental capacity that needs to be drawn in order to do bookkeeping and taxes and to deal with all that stuff. So that's just kind of an example of my mindset right now. But think about your business. Think about your life. That could be checking your mail. You can go a couple times a week and do that instead. It could be grocery shopping. Maybe you're going every single day. Why not go once a week, right? So these are just a couple examples of batching. And this is a really, really big one for entrepreneurs who, especially if you're working off of strictly off of a computer. This might be different. Like for me, as of late, most of my businesses have been done strictly from the computer. I've been doing a lot of digital stuff, video stuff, marketing stuff. I've been doing a lot less of the reselling lately. So I've been strictly on the laptop. And for me, getting into the right work environment has been really, really important for boosting my productivity. So a couple of weeks ago, I found that I was getting distracted easily. I was I was doing this, I was going into the kitchen, I was, jumping in the shower, I was having food, I was getting super distracted at my house. And for a while it was working. Like I was doing really, really well at my house. I wasn't getting distracted, I was focused, but I started to slip. And I asked myself, what can I do right now to avoid all the distractions? And I decided to start going to the coffee shop. And the coffee shop was super productive. I was liking it. And then the same thing happened to me like 2 months later. I'm like, okay, what's happening? So then I started going to libraries. And for me, I'm just so ADD, and you've got to know your personality, but I'm very ADD. I like to move. I like to switch things up. I like things fresh. That's a blessing and a curse, but I'm just being 100% transparent with my personality. And you got to get to know your personality. So for me, choosing the right work environments is really, really important for productivity. And in general, I found going to coffee shops and especially libraries boosts your productivity like crazy because you're away from the house. You're in this secluded area. There's no one to talk to. Typically, it's quiet, and you have no other choice but to work. Now there has been times where I'm at the library and I'm watching cat videos, and I catch myself like, what the heck am I doing? So you could still slack off. You could still be super unproductive in these other areas outside of your typical work environment. But I found that it's been very useful for me with productivity is switching up my work environment. So those are the 7 things, guys. Know your outcome, the 80-20 rule, delegate the rest. Remember, it's more important what you do versus how you do it. Stop picking up your phone and checking your email while working. That was number 3. Number 4 is have a morning routine. And these were some of the examples that I had. Number 5, block out time for major actions. I like to use Google. I use Google Calendars, and I use Google Drive, Google Docs, Google Sheets. I love all the Google stuff. It's really awesome for staying organized and for getting your thoughts in one place and be able to share documents with your team. Batching products has been really, really important for saving time and being more efficient and experimenting with your work atmosphere. So those are some of the 7 things that have helped me, and seven of the things that I'm still working on myself to be more productive. You know, I don't necessarily want to be a Gary Vaynerchuk. I don't want to be a what's his name? The guy who has the 10x rule. What's his name? I forget what his name is, but I don't want to be one of these guys who, like for me, let me put it this way. I would rather make, let's just throw out a number. I'd rather make 6 figures per year working 20 hours a week versus working 100 hours a week and making $1 million. That's just me. I want to be productive. I want to enjoy my life. I want to be able to spend time with my friends and my family. I want to be able to go to the gym. I want to be able to work out. I want to be able to do the things that I enjoy. And for me, being productive and being able to leverage your time is important. And it's really, really important for me. And, having a good amount of energy and being effective and feeling good throughout the day is just as important. And that's definitely why I love doing my morning routine in the morning as well. So I'm going to jump into the comment section right now, answer any questions that you guys have. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. I know this video is a little different than what I normally do, but I like to switch things up. 103 people watching live. Good to see you guys. Appreciate it. Chin C says, smash that like button. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Grant Cardone. That's who I was talking about. I don't want to be the next Grant Cardone. What's up, Rockstar? Good to see you again. What time do you usually wake up? So this is really good too. I could have thrown this in, and I was just having a conversation with my buddy the other day about this. 2 things I want to talk about. Number 1, when I wake up really, really early in the morning, I feel more productive than ever. But, and this is a but, and let me preface this by saying, if I go to bed after about midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 in the morning, and I try to wake up early, super unproductive, probably the worst possible day that I could have. But if I get to bed by 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10 at night, and I'm able to wake up at 5, 6, 6:30 in the morning, that's kind of my key right there. There's something special that happens in the morning. And for a while, I was waking up at 5 a.m., 4 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning for a while, for months. And I decided to stop doing it. And the reason is because I just couldn't get to sleep early enough. And, a lot of that's my fault. Um, obviously being a young guy, 29 years old, it's tough to consistently get into bed at 9 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock at night. So for me, it wasn't sustainable. And as of late, I've been waking up around 7 a.m. each morning, and that's been working for me based on the time that I go to bed, which is typically around 11 to midnight. But I would like to really start getting to bed by 10 and waking up for 6. I think that's my sweet spot right there. Why is Bonafide Hustler slacking on videos? He's been consistent with videos. As a content creator, sometimes you got to just take some time off. I mean, in the past couple of months, I've been just coming on here and there, and lately I've been ramping it up because I've been feeling good. But it takes a lot of energy, not only physical energy, believe it or not, but mental energy to make these videos on a regular basis, right? So, hey, Teg Knox, good to see you. Appreciate it. So if you guys did enjoy this video, do me a big favor, guys. We have 98 people watching live, but only 54 likes. So be productive right now, guys, and hit that like button. Let's see how productive you guys can be right now, hitting that little thumbs up. I'm corny, I know it. I'm just looking to see if there's any more comments. My routine is coffee and hotcakes, source, photograph, power nap, list, package, and drop off shipments around 2 a.m. So Lauren says, I get up at 4 a.m. every day and it's awesome. I get a ton of stuff listed every morning before I go to work. It's really powerful waking up super early in the morning and getting a bunch of things done. Like for me, when I was waking up at 5 a.m., by the time most people were waking up at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, I had already gotten in my workout. I'd already kicked ass with one or two major objectives in my business. Who knows? I might have even had a conference call with my team on the green room, and most people are waking up. When you get your workout in and you take care of at least one major action in your business before somebody wakes up, that's powerful. That's really, really powerful. And it's motivating and it's inspiring and it gives you this energy that it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain. It's just an edge. But that's one thing I definitely want to do is start waking up a little earlier. I'd like to get to the 6 a.m. Wake up time. And I think that's sustainable. I'm not trying to, I have a tendency to do things that are unsustainable. And I get really, really excited at times. And like, I'll get an idea and I'll just like go for it, like 120%. And then I blow myself out. Like I'm worn out because I go too hard. My mindset lately, and this is another productivity hack, is you don't have to, like, people think that in order to be the winner or to accomplish your goals, you have to go out the gate at 1 billion miles per hour and be the number one, the fastest guy, up in front of the crowd. But I found that, and who was this? This was Peter Voogd. He wrote a book called 6 Months to Six Figures. He said his competitive edge against his competitors was being consistent. It's like the tortoise and the hare, right? Like, if you go out the gate too quick and you're going 190 miles per hour and you're just like, it's just not sustainable. And for me, one of my biggest mistakes is I do things like that. And my shift in mindset lately is, what can I do? Like, if I want to incorporate a new habit, how can I incorporate that habit into my life to be sustainable, for months or years on end, which obviously is the goal, to keep it a habit, to do it forever. But, it's like if you've never worked out before, right? Like, don't start going to the gym 6 times a week for 2 hours a day. Like, it's just not sustainable. You're going to get injured. You're going to get worn out. So that's kind of one of my struggles and one of my challenges, and one of the big things that kind of I feel like I've been doing better at. And, just with my YouTube channel as well, like, 4 months ago, I was burnt out. I was getting sick of some of the comments that were coming in. I was trying to find myself. I was burnt out. I had done, 700 videos in 2 years, and I wanted to stop completely. And that's what most people do. Like, most of the YouTube channels that you see 3 or 4 years ago, they came out the gate running, but they quit. They got worn out. They shot a bunch of videos and they got worn out and they never made a video. Well, what I decided to do was I said, okay, I can't shoot 5, 6, 7, 15 videos a week like I used to. And there was a time where I was doing that. I said, you know what? I'm just going to do some interviews. I'm going to add value to my audience. I'm going to help them as much as I can, but I'm going to keep my distance. I'm going to, just do one video a week. And I did that for a couple months. And now, excuse me, my phone is ringing. I've been feeling better, more motivated. I've got some stuff to talk about, and I'm back in the swing of things. So I think consistency is really, really big, not only in business, but in, life in general. So let's see what's going on here. Thanks for being a boss. Hey, I'm trying, man. Getting more done in a 32-hour week than a 40-hour work week. I'm glad to hear. That's what it's all about. So, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate the love. Again, if you guys did like this video, hit the like button. Definitely helps. Lets me know that I'm doing a good job. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber. I make videos on a regular basis. Business videos, entrepreneurship videos, eBay videos, Amazon videos, Shopify videos, productivity videos. And I try to just document my life in a sense. I document what's working, what's not, things that have helped me, and things that could help you. So definitely subscribe, like the video, share if you could, and hopefully you guys found value in this video. So until next time, I'll see you guys soon. If you guys want some free goodies, go down into the description. I've got a free book called 100 Amazing Items that my team and I created. 100 amazing items you could sell online, eBay, Amazon, from thrift stores, garage sales, pawn shops, and more. And also, if you haven't gotten it already, I released a free 5-week Shopify course. So if you've been wondering where have I been, what have I been working on, I've actually been spending a lot of time and knowledge, learning, working on my own e-commerce store, which I built out on Shopify, which I'm really proud of and excited about growing. It's definitely been a learning curve, but I created a free 5-week Shopify course to help you to be able to build your Shopify store, which is kind of like phase 1 in the whole mix of getting your store going. So be sure to get that in the description. But yeah, with that being said, you guys keep on picking and making that money. I'll see you in the next video and have a fabulous day. Talk later. Bye.